the Tiv only on page Tzadi Daled. That's what I have. And we're on number Kuf Vov. So, so Kuf Vov says like this. He says, Od Yesh Kavana Benilus Na'alim. So let's talk about that. Shana'alim Meramazim L'shtei Bechinos. Ha'achas Hiba Bechinos Ha'or, the Netzach Hod, Netzach of a Hod De'ima. So one is the concept of the outside skin of the Netzach Hod of Ima, which are her legs. V'zera v'sod inyan ha'na'alis of vevis a regel, so that the foot is completely covered on the outside. That's the Netzach and Hod. But the second aspect is he sha'anal hu ha'chelek shetachas ragler ha'adam, is really the part of the shoe that goes underneath the feet. Zeh merabes al bechinas hamasach. So this really talks about the concept of a screen here. Shalach shemistayim olam ha'atzilus, because at the end of olam ha'atzilus, when it finishes, Kol Nishamaskil Olam Abriya, before there starts Olam Abriya Shetachtov, V'yesh B'nechem Masak Kaviyachol Gedugmas Beish Sheyesh Masak Bein Bais L'Aliyah. It's like an attic floor, so to speak, or a something like that. V'chein Al Zera B'derek Yeshnam Masak Amapse Bein Kol Olam V'Olam. So the same Masak, the same concept of a Masak, is in every world. Every parts of every olam. So now we're going to go into the details of every olam and all the parsufim. Of a klalim called partsufi olam aratzilis, and part of them are, generally speaking, all lumped into that one. So then one is maluvish, one on top of the next, but over parts of the elyon, nasa the shama, the parts of shalamata b'menu, so that it becomes like panimi to it and becomes a neshama to it. Shahare parts of atik beluvish but panimi yusu shal arich. So the parts of atik is clothed inside of the inside of arich. Atik naas and neshama, the parts of arich, and it becomes a neshama to arich. The parts of arich malvish are parts of atik, and then it covers over. One is inside, the other one is covering over. It's a wrapper as well. Then atik bechinas guf kaviyachol, it becomes like a body for atik. V'chein al derek zerem malvishin kol partsufim echad al gabi re'ehu. So one is on top of the next. Kedekos of Rav Le'el b'drashenu. So we heard that a little bit. Now let's talk about olam abriya. Kul lamadim olam atzilus, below olam atzilus. V'hu mekabel shefa b'kol partsuf atzilus. V'shefa zecha v'oiver b'atzilus the bria derek amazak and niska la'al. Hanikra now, which is called now. So in other words, that's the masak now. The kever halvashas apartzufim him called hatzadanim. So now we see that the clothing of all the partzufim is all around, and even underneath. So in other words, completely closed. So Chavanimsa im came shahaor hayotze betachas ragle atik over v'derek ragle arich. So he says that actually what comes through is that the light of atik passes through until the light of the feet of arich. Ha'omem chutzalo min kol hatzadanim b'rafilu milamata, which surrounds it even below it. V'chein yodzer ha'or the atik v'ha'or the arich derek ragle abba v'ima. So now we see that they all go through, and now they're going to wind up coming out through the feet of Ima, one inside the next. So the atik v'ha'or v'adorich v'ha'or the abba v'ima derek ragle kol partzufim. So they're all falling through down to the bottom, but they have to pass through these screens. L'meirim b'ragle zun. Then they wind up all shining into the feet of zun. So they're here zun now. V'kol ha'ora shall call parts of atzilus. So all of the lights of all of the parts of Atzilus, Ovrim Derek Masach, it passes through this Masach, Shu Bechinas Anal and this Keres, which is the shoe that we're talking about. So now, when we're talking about this Masach, and the Masach, which is actually the shoe, Nachtamem V'Ovrim Kol Ora Shal Olam Atzilus, so pass through this, and are sealed, to use the word sealed in it, all the lights of Atzilus. V'nechoka came the mata bebria excuse me, I'm reading light print only. Ba'ofen she'eses spheres the olam atzilus, so that the 10 spheres of olam atzilus nechoka came. In other words, they're passing through into the feet and then down underneath the feet onto the masach. Atzilus nechokim v'nechtam in the mata ba'olam abriya. So he uses the word they're carved out and sealed down below in olam abriya. Kadimya and the chosim v'hamachtim as ha'osios. It's like a seal that seals up the letters al gabe anayir. So apparently keep it from running off, or I'm not sure exactly how the situation worked with the seal then. V'lechein tim zechakika kol eser spheres debria. So then you see a hakikas. It's the stamping of all the spheres of Atzilus, whom mamash kedinyan as the spheres the olam Atzilus is actually exactly are similar looking into all of the same formation that you had up above. V'ases sephiros shal olam abriya nekrayim chosim shal eses spheres the olam Atzilus. They're called the seal of the spheros of olam Atzilus. Since that's really the root of the spheros, and so relatively speaking, the they're only considered to be like a seal. Shel olam atzilus hu yoser moed me'etzem asfira shel olam atzilus. So maybe we could just look at this top one here. It says Kamavur etzlein the b'shar shemos sefiras v'ayin sham. He says, look over there. Kamosha yotzi v'over or haraglayim mamish derek amasakachul. So now we're talking about how the light passes through a screen or a filter. Gam kol or shir kumas are parts of shalo. So also all the lights that go through the whole column of the parts of over v'yotzi derek haraglayim, they all pass through the feet. So he said, v'od v'yotze derek hamasak el abriya, and then they go through this masach into the next world, into a more revealed world, it's a more physical world. V'chein al derek zecher abriya liyitzira mitzira l'chasira k'noida b'nir n'liyas daiti ki l'sivas chashmal chazera de'ima, because of this chashmal, which is basically what we're talking about. That's where we have this phrase that Ima Ilah, she sets up her throne. So you should be blessed to understand that. Let's see the Tiv over here. He says, it's only not those, you thought maybe it's only light that comes from the feet. Called parts of Yardi the Mada Baraglaim, and that's the way it goes. It's gravitational. Everything goes down to the bottom. They break through this screen. So everything winds up funneling there. So all of them clothed through the path of the filter, the screen. Derek through this masa v'kein al zeh huzur adere yordem me'oler shakol partzuf v'dechatzilus l'olam abriya. So here he wants to say that there are systems in all of Atzilus. There's a system for all of the partzuf, for all of the spheros, and every one of them processes the same way, and they wind up processing into the masach of a derek zeh mekabel olam abriya as a shefem b'olam Atzilus. So similarly, in the same way, call olam tachton mekabelis the shefim in the olam alya bebenu. Behind the picture, all the partsufim mislavshim zel gabzeh. So they're all here. He's seeing them in a vertical formation. V'chelki ha'ora shall call a partsufim ha'shaychim the olam atachton. Better than all of the partsufim that are really relative to the olam that's below it. Yordim el kol partzuf el haraglayim shalo. So they go through the partzuf until it reaches the feet. The misham heim yordim islavshim b'masach. So then the words are they go down. They are become clothed in the masach shu hanal, which is the shoe. Yoser, then you still go down to the very lowest one, same thing. Mekabel as the shefa also receives the shefa. Moshe Olam Abriya Mekabel as the shefa ha'oras b'hamazach b'hanal shal Olam Atzilos, so since Silos, Kain al Zera Derek Mekabel Olam Yitzira as the shefa ha'oras shall call Olam Abriya shalom. Derek HaMazak, so also it has to go through this Mazak, V'hanal shal Olam Abriya. V'chein Olam Achasiya Mekabel as Shefa V'ha'ora shal Olam Yitzira shal Omala B'menu. Derek HaMazak V'hanal shal Olam Yitzira shalom. Going on, he says, V'ata, the Morachu Mefarash B'dilay. Now he's talking, the Morachu himself is speaking. And he said, "Demasha shenida b'tikunim de'ima iloa makana de bekursia." So we have this stage of making a nest in her throne. Hainu the kevish derek anal de'ima oiver hashefa lo'olam abriya. So since we say that through the shoe of ima, so to speak, the shefa passes into olam abriya. The olam abriya nikra kursia. It's also called the throne. Nimseim came shachakursia hu olam abriya, that the throne, which is the olam abriya, mekabelas as a shefa min a masak v'hanal shal ima dechatzilus, and it receives it through that masak. Ve'ima iloh he ima dechatzilus. This is the ima of atzilus. Shehi mekana the bekursa, which is the one that sets up, that she sets herself up in that throne. The hainu shehi mashpia shefa lekursia, that she pours shefa into that place with the base kibble, the lashon kibble, base kibble, shuhu olam abriya. And then he says this, which he said before. Rab Mordechai Shrabi is the beer. So Rab Mordechai Shrabi says shekasher marchu kosiv v'havenze, when he writes that phrase kavanasahi lebarchenu, to give us a bracha. Shenavin Zos, that we should be able to understand this, and that's that shir on this today.